welcome to take 3, attempt number 3 at the next episode of Sack to the Future, 1963, Week 1, the showcase game featuring the Minnesota Vikings of the NFL, going up against a semi-pro team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to just stay here till about 30 seconds have passed because we haven't made it this far yet. It's the third attempt. What is the showcase and why the Vikings? Well, the showcase game will be a full-time showcase attempt of one team from the AFC and one team from the NFC, or in 63 AFL and NFL. It will be the highest rated team that is not human controlled, the highest finishing team that is not human controlled. So in 63, you've already seen the San Diego Chargers open up Week 1. That is because they won the AFL Championship and nobody is human controlling them. So, in the NFL, it's the Minnesota Vikings. What was the Vikings' record? Is that the Vikings' record was 5-8-1. But the teams that are ahead of them, the Chicago Bears, the New York Giants, the Cleveland Browns, the Green Bay Packers, the Baltimore Colts, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, will all be human controlled. So you're watching a showcase game of a losing record team, but it is the highest finishing record of a non-human controlled team. So sit back and enjoy 1963 through the eyes of the Minnesota Vikings. If you're a Vikings fan, if you're not, if you're a Fran Tarkenton fan, or if you're a fan of NFL history. This is Week 1, Minnesota and Jacksonville from hold on, let me look see where they play the games. Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, in Minnesota. Hello, Stonewall, and welcome to the broadcast. Been a while. I have yet to actually have a game. The other guys have all played multiple games. I've only done showcase, but my teams are showcased in prime time in Week 1. This is a 4 o'clock game here. I have the Packers versus the Colts, Sunday night game, and then 2 on Monday night game is the Bills take on the Patriots and the Cardinals take on the Cowboys. So I also don't play any computer games in Week 1. Now, real quick, Week 1, also the hardest week to prep the computer, because we do all the editing, and then they go and make a bunch of moves. Starting with Week 2, however, Alright, I won't control him, but he'll return it on his own. It'll give me time to go fix. So here comes Fran Tarkenton coming out to get the start. Alright, now real quick I want to go adjust a setting, visual feedback, player names, always on. Okay. Don't know why that wasn't set, but my internet must have been reset because I had to, I can't super sim. Why not? Why can't I super sim? There we go. Alright. And we are underway. So I did not control the kick return, but it was in a different view than normal. Alright, so it was 1st and 10 from the 27. And Tarkenton hands the ball off to Tommy Mason. Mason forward for about 2 yards maybe. And let's take a look at the starting unit. Grady Alderman, Jerry Huth, Mick Tinglehoff, Larry Bowie, and Earl Linden, your offensive line. Tommy Mason, Bobby Reed, the backs. Jerry Reichel, Ray Page, and Paul Flatley, the receivers. So it is 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain from Mason. Tarkenton back to pass. He's going to scramble a little. He throws. It's complete to Mason. Mason's got the 1st down, and Mason, he's going to get hit, backs up a little, and picks up 17 yards, 18 yards on the reception. It'll be 1st down for Minnesota. Oh, I know why. I didn't use his profile for the Charger game. Here's a pitch out to Tommy Mason. Mason's going to lose a yard, maybe. I didn't use his profile because, Jordan Davis' profile is permanently on the Chargers. Willie McCovey, Al Unser, Whitey Ford, and Dick Davis. Johnny Ace, Orlando Cepeda, and Roberto Clemente are your linebackers. Don Wakamatsu, Grant Fjord, David Cohn, and Ken Blankenship, your safeties. Because I'm moving the Chargers, so I had to put one of my the profile to stay on them. And in 64, I'll move the Cardinals. Tarkenton hands it off to Reed, Bobby Reed. Let's take a look at him because I'm not familiar with him. I'm going to sit back down here and look at my rosters. Johnny Ace, with power to the people, makes the tackle. Norm Van Brocklin, the head coach of the Vikings. Bobby Reed, number 27, second-year player out of Pacific. Targeted on 3rd and 9, fakes the handoff. He's got a blocker. He throws. It's caught on the run by Jerry Reichow. Reichow inside the 20. Reichow by the man. He's in for the touchdown. 51-yard pass from Fran Tarkenton to Jerry Reichow. The deep threat from 62 is back in 63. If you watch this channel, you know the Vikings run a lot of what was called back then bonus games, and there was one game where Reichow burned everyone for 89 yards. This time, Reichow goes 51, and watch him just scoot right by the Jaguar defender, and like he wasn't even there. And Fred Cox lines up for the extra point, the rookie who will be a mainstay in the NFL. And let me talk about Fred Cox for a minute. When you see his name, maybe you caught it there, it's spelled C-A-H-X-Y. Why couldn't we have it spelled C-O-X? Well, EA Sports apparently deems the name Cox offensive. So, for Fred Cox, and the future Steve Cox, and Brian Cox, probably the most famous of the Cox, their names are going to be misspelled, just like Charlie Hennigan, and just like Larry Muff, and others whose names were deemed offensive. Gordon Hobson. Gordon Hobson. See, like I said, week 1 is, who the hell is Gordon Hobson? He's got a modern helmet. Yeah, he does not belong on the Jaguars. Like I said, week 1 is the hardest to plan the computer. We go through, we do all the editing, and yet here they went and signed a quarterback. But as they do, they sign them. As they sign more and more of these players, we're able to edit them, change their names. Like Gordon Hobson will have a different name next week. So Harmon Killebrew, Warren Spong, Cole Rollins, Joe Pepitone, and Samuel Page, Willie Mays, Pete Rose, Al Killeen, Charles Wolf, and another one. So there's like 3 or 4 guys on the Jaguars with modern names. Carl Kosolki on the tackle. It's not a big deal for the semi-pro teams. The main reasons, we want the uniforms to look old-fashioned, and I want the names to be relevant to something. There's a pass to Wolf, one of those modern players. So Hobson to Wolf, a little flash of 2020, or 2021, the 4th season. Don Holtz, Paul Dixon, Jim Presto, and Jim Marshall, your starting defensive line. Rip Hawkins, Roy Winston, Steve Stonebreaker, the linebackers. And the secondary features Chuck Lamson, Carl Kosolki, the safeties, Lee Callan, the rookie, and Ed Shirachman in the defensive backfield. So Mike Rowe comes up the line at tight end for the Jaguars. It's 3rd down and 5 as this futuristic quarterback takes a snap. He's looking, he throws it over the middle, and it is incomplete to Wolf. No, they're going to call it complete. So modern player to modern player gets the first down, and the Jaguars keep the ball moving. Like I said, though, the next time you see the Jaguars, they won't have those names. It'll be more 1963-ish. I got the names this year. I used Wikipedia exclusively for the Easter egg names. Went through births, deaths, events. 63 in film, 63 in television, 63 in sports. Each individual sports season. And then, I did go one more to the history of the WWE.com to get wrestler names. Willie Mays takes the ball, and he's going to pick up a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Rip Hawkins on the tackle. Beautiful day here in early 1963. The president is John F. Kennedy, and we're in Bloomington, Minnesota. Hobson hands it off. Willie Mays. Willie Mays busts through. Go. He's got the first down. That was a huge pickup of 14 yards. 3 rushes for 20 yards. Rip Hawkins gets his 2nd tackle. So Jaguars have 3 or 4 guys on the offense, 1 in each position pretty much that's modern player. Ed Schrockman on the tackle. Why are we watching the replay? Still to come in Week 1, the 4 o'clock games are the Chiefs and Buccaneers will not be broadcast. As the Dallas Texans will move to Kansas City. Mays on the carry. Mays is going to get hit in the backfield this time, and he is going to get no gain as Paul Dixon makes the tackle. The New York Giants and the John M. channel will be taking on the semi-pro Seattle Seahawks. We'll have some more of this for guys who don't belong on the roster. And you would too in the Rams and Jets game, because the Jets will do the same thing, even though the Jets are much more higher rated than a semi-pro team. They've got to fill their roster, as the AFL only had 36-man rosters in 63, so they're going to have to go from 36 to 53. So you're going to see roster filler at 45 at least. You're going to see roster filler. Nothing I can do about that. Mays on the give. Mays up the middle. Mays is going to break through for about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Willie Mays, known as the home run hitter for the Jaguars, can break a run and go yard. 3rd down and 6. We're showcasing another futuristic player in Charles Wolf. Hobson in the backfield. He's back to pass. It's thrown over the middle. It's complete to Wolf. So the 2021 combination of Wolf and Hobson are put into the Vikings. Again, we hope they don't lose. If they do lose, it would be a shame. The games will count no matter what. What game was it that we watched? Oh, the 49ers and Redskins. They had a modern quarterback. The Redskins did, instead of Norm Snead. But again, Week 1, what can you do? We'll physically go back in there for Week 2 and get it taken care of. And it's easier once we get past Week 2. I'm not sure why Week 1 operates that way. There's a handoff to Mays again, and Mays cannot get by Paul Dixon as he brings him down. Makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 6 after a gain of 4. Paul Dixon, that's his 2nd tackle. For the 5th-year player out of Baylor, the former Los Angeles Ram, coming over to the Vikings, along with Bill Jobko. I think Dixon came last year, actually. Hobson's got him in the red zone. The pass is complete to Mike Rowe, and he does the hard work. He does the dirty jobs, gets them in the 1st down. As Hobson's now 3 for 4, 41 yards. 10-yard reception to Mike Rowe. The dirty work, they call him Mr. Dirty in the inside there for tight end. Hawkins again on the tackle. Hobson back to pass this time. As the blitz is on, Hopkins is being chased, and he's going to get sacked. Huge loss. Don Holtz on the sack, number 83. The rookie out of Southern Miss chased Hobson down, took his time machine, and smashed it to bits. It will be a 3rd down and goal now or 2nd down and goal from the 25, and we are about to end the 1st quarter. Can they get the snap off? They will not. So after 1 in Bloomington, Minnesota, as the scorecard magically appears in Norm Van Brocklin's hand, the Minnesota Vikings lead the Jacksonville Jaguars 7-0 on a pass to Jerry Reichel. Jaguars have countered with some futuristic players. There you see Charles Wolf, but it's not got them in the end zone as of yet. Why wait? Have a Snickers if you're hungry. Okay, so it is 2nd down and goal from the 25. We've switched sides. The Jaguars now going into the sun here in late evening, September evening in Bloomington, Minnesota. Hobson back to pass. Throws. It's complete to... let me see that name. Bob Aspromonte, another baseball player from 63. 3rd down and goal from the 20 after the gain of 5. So 3rd down and goal from the 20. Hobson back to pass. Jim Marshall just bust through. He went the right way and destroyed the quarterback. Jim Marshall chases him back for a 5-yard loss, and that'll bring up, look at this, Jim Marshall just overpowers his man, and that, my friends, is why he will be a future Hall of Famer. Jim Marshall playing in his 4th season, 3rd with the Vikings. As he started out a member of the Cleveland Browns, he is an Ohio State Buckeye. And this will be a 42-yard field goal attempt. And the kick is up. And it's good. So the Jaguars do get on the board. Couldn't see the name of the kicker. So he'll kick off now, though. And it's taken by Tommy Mason at the 2. Mason up to 20 to 25. Mason, was playing hand check with one guy and just got knocked over by another. Mason, 25-yard return, though. He is up, a little woozy. He is the feature back for the Vikings. And there's Jerry Rykow, who on the last drive had one reception for 51 yards and a touchdown. So it is first down from the 28-yard line as Tarkenton comes to the line. He looks over that Jaguar defense. The quarterback out of Georgia hands it to Mason. Mason with a big hole. Mason's got the first down. He jumps ahead to the 40. That's a 12-yard pickup for Mason. He's got 3 carries for 16 yards on the young day. Orlando Cepeda on the tackle. And it's first down and 10. Tarkenton handed off to Bobby Reed. The second back through. He's going to pick up 7. Ryan Brockman encouraging the Vikings. Not something he did in real life. Just ask Van Tarkenton. And why Tarkenton will end up a New York Giant before he returns to have glory in Minnesota. Tarkenton back to pass, however. He throws it's a screen pass to Mason. Mason threw. He's got the first down. He kind of slowed down, but he picked it up. And Tarkenton is 3 for 3. Mason has 2 receptions of those for 22 yards. You look at the score like that, the Vikings, Dolphins, and Texans go to a 0-0 tie. Well, that's another glitch. Mason up the middle. Mason! Oh, he stiff-armed a guy and got through for a pickup of 5 or 4. When we edit the team, if it's not shown on TV, their final score will show 0-0. Grant Fuhrer on the tackle. It is second down and 6 as Tarkenton goes back to pass. And the pass is incomplete. It'll be third down and 6. That's Tarkenton's first incompletion of the day. Third down and 6. Tarkenton takes off running. He's got the first down on the scramble. He makes the move. Oh, and he fumbles! Tarkenton fumbles and is picked up by Robinson. Robinson to the 50. Here, Robinson to the 40. He's going to outrace everybody. Robinson on the fumble by Tarkenton takes it for the touchdown. Unfortunate play, and the Jaguars have taken the lead. And the kick is up, and it's good. It's now 10-7 Jacksonville. Vikings offense was dominating, but Tarkenton got hit. He fumbled, and the next thing you know, the Jaguars have a touchdown. Mason from the 2. He's out to the 20. He's going to get hit at the 25. Gets away from one, but gets destroyed. And, well, this is one of the reasons why teams don't use their starting running backs to return kicks nowadays, but this is 1963, and here comes Mason running back on the field for some reason. 4 rushes, 20 yards. Tarkenton hands it to Mason. Mason makes a man miss. Tries to get a spin in. He gets to the 32. And it's second down and 3. Second down and 3 from the 32-yard line. Tarkenton going to take off running again. He's not afraid of what happened last time. He gets the first down before getting crushed. He's got 2 carries, 28 yards. And Tarkenton trying to fire up that Bloomington faithful. It is a first down and 10. Jaguars leading 10-7 off the strength of a turnover of not a pick six, what do they call it? A scoop and score. Tarkenton back to pass. He throws it over, throws his man. And after starting 3 for 3, he's thrown 2 straight incompletions. Back to what's still to come. So the 4 o'clock games on the Terrors 89 channel, the Los Angeles Rams take on the New York Jets. And then we move to Sunday night, and it's going to be a game where 2 of my teams, the Baltimore Colts and Green Bay Packers, take on each other. So that means it's going to be a game just like this, a simulation where I get to watch one of my teams start 1-0 and one of them start 0-1. Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills take on the Boston Patriots. That'll be both on my channel and the Phantom Fighter channel, as Phantom's got the Patriots as his fourth team this year. Mason up the middle. Mason's going to get near the 40 for about 4 yards before being driven backwards. It's going to be 3rd and 11. And then the late Monday night game is the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Dallas Cowboys on both my channel and the Terrors 89 channel, as the Cardinals will be my fourth team this year. Probably my weakest quarterback of the 4. I've got Jack Kemp, Bart Starr, Johnny Unitas, and Charles Johnson. We'll be showcasing Tobin Rote and Fran Tarkenton. Over the middle, complete to Boylan. Boylan's got the first down and then some. Number 80, that's Jim Boylan, the rookie out of Washington State, picking up the first down. And we have reached the 2-minute warning here from Minnesota, with the Vikings leading the Jaguars leading the Vikings 10-7. Targeting back to pass, throws it out. Mason, oh Mason with a toe tip catch, and he was nowhere near the sideline, but he fell down and landed out of bounds, and it'll be 2nd down and 9. At the 40. And a false start for the Vikings.
False start, offense.
Second down and 14. Tarkenton back to pass. Steps up, he throws, it's complete to Jerry Reichow right at the first down marker. They're going to mark him back to the 32, 3rd down and inches. I think he was forward of that, but it's only 3rd down, so we don't waste the challenge. David Cohn on the tackle, the ace cornerback. Tark back to pass. He scrambles, he throws, almost intercepted. And that'll bring up a 4th down. And they're going to line up for what will be Fred Cox, a 49-yard attempt on his very first field goal attempt. There's the kick, it's up, it's long, it is going to hit the crossbar, no good. Just hit the crossbar, and the Vikings offense sputters again after the first drive. Hobson back to pass. He swings it out to Mays. Mays going to pick up 6, and Hobson starting 5 of 6. So again, there's one of the things that you can't really test. The semi-pro quarterbacks seem to go nuts sometimes, just completing everything under the sun, and it gets frustrating because they should not be that good, but they are in the game. Their ratings don't seem to matter always. Hobson back to pass, throws it complete to Matthew Broderick, and he picks up the first down. Now it worked out for the 49ers. They were able to get by the Vikings, the Redskins, and their souped-up futuristic quarterback. Mays takes the carry, and he is going to get tackled by Rip Hawkins for no gain. I said Hawkins had 2 tackles. I thought he had 2 earlier. We still haven't made a decision about switching to Madden 20. I know at least 2, maybe 3 of us have at least committed to getting the game beginning of August. We'll see how it works, editing, see if it's going to make it realistic. Mays takes the screen pass and gets... the superstar feature would really work with guys like Jim Marshall and Fran Tarkenton, but at the same time, if it's only going to be able to be used on the guys that, when they get drafted, well, that's going to make things a little more difficult and harder to edit, and we'll see. So first down and 10 as Espamani comes in motion and Hopkins going back on a screen. And Marshall hits him, gets the fumble. We're inside 2 minutes. Marshall with a second sack, so the third for the Vikings. So the Jaguar that recovers it cannot advance the fumble, and it will be a second down and 22. The Jaguars have one timeout left. The Viking defense holding tight, trying to keep them in this game. Pass is complete to Al Khalil, and we have an injury. Off-ball injury, so I'm not sure who it was. Oh, it is going to be Al Khalil, the guy who received the ball, and Bob Espamani moves over to his position. Hobson back to pass. Throws it over the middle. It's almost intercepted. And that'll make it 4th and 5. Now lining up for a 43-yard field goal. Oh, excuse me. And the Jaguars take a 13-7 lead with 35 seconds to go. And the Jaguars get the ball back. This could be trouble for the Vikings. And they've basically beaten themselves. Butler brings it out. Butler's going to get up to the 30. And with 30 seconds left, the Vikings will take over. The defense has let the Jaguars drive, but when they get down, they played much tighter. Tarkenton, 6 of 9, 106 yards and a touchdown. But the fumble is the difference in the game right now. Much like the Chargers showcase game where the Ravens' only touchdown was a defensive fumble recovery by the big boss man. The Jaguars have done the same thing. Tark back to pass. He's going to scramble. He's going to be hit, and he is going to be sacked. And the Vikings will call timeout. Second down and 10. So the sack happened for no gain. That does not count as a sack. Tarkin is back to pass. He's going to step up and scramble again. And this time he's going to be hit and sacked as he just got glued to the... And Al Unser races in to make the sack. It'll be 3rd down and 14. That is officially the first Jaguars sack. And we have got the end of the game. The Vikings did not call timeout. The end of the half, sorry. The Vikings did not call timeout. And after 30 minutes of play, the Vikings trail the Jaguars 13-7. Have got to get the ball right back. So the Vikings are in a dogfight with the semi-pro team. And Al Khalil, he's healthy, comes out from the 2. He gets over to the 27 before getting buried. There's a look at the rookie Gary Hobson, who will have a different name next week. I'm not sure what it'll be yet. Hobson hands the ball off to Willie Mays. Mays breaks through. He is going to pick up 7. He's got 35 yards and 8 carries. Bill Jobko, another guy that come over from the Rams, makes the tackle. Officially, I have 7 more teams to edit before the whole week 1 will be completely edited. There are 6 human-controlled teams. 4 of them are mine. Hobson hands the ball off to Mays. Mays got the first down. He's got a big hole. He's inside the Viking territory as he picks up 20 yards on the carry. And the Vikings just don't seem to have any answers for the big play from the Jaguars. Hobson back to pass. Pass is complete to Mike Rowe. He's going to pick up 9. Hobson 9 of 11 now. Second down and 1. Calland on the tackle the last play. There's the give to Rowe. Pete Rose. The hit king gets leveled by Lamson. It'll be first down and 10. They did get the first down. Nobody in the backfield for the Jaguars. Hobson throws is complete to Wolf. And once again, the Jaguars are down into Minnesota, deep into Minnesota territory. Second down and 1 at this. Frank Hauser makes the tackle. Ball's on the 24. Well, obviously, I'd like the Vikings to win because they're real and against semi-pro, but you can't force it. So, Willie Mays, big hole. He's got the first down. He's inside the 20 to the red zone. He's got 64 yards on the day now. And the Vikings, they are a 5-8-1 team. So we're not like we're showcasing a great team. You know, we're showcasing a below average. Might very well be the worst showcase team yet. Well, obviously yet, but in the future too. Especially once we get to the 10 and 12 team playoff format. We've got more options. Excuse me. So first down and 10 as Matthew Broderick comes in motion. Hopkins hands it off to Mays. Mays going to pick up a yard. He's got 66 on the carrying day now. 2-yard gain, I should say. It's second down and 8. Second down and 8. Hobson in the shotgun. High snap, hands it out to Pete Rose, and Rose is just picked up and leveled. Rip Hawkins. It's a different kind of scoop and score. Scoop and score the big tackle. Pete Rose got hit. It was like he was when he was going up against Kane in the WrestleManias in the late 90s, getting tombstone left and right. Hopkins hands the ball off to Steve Irwin. And Irwin's down to the 11. And we have an injury timeout. And the Croc Hunter is hurt. And so another field goal. But this one could put the Vikings away. They cannot score. And this will put them down by 2 scores. It's a 28-yard kick. So now the Vikings are in a huge hole. Man, I did not catch the name. It obviously is a guy that's been edited because he looks like it's the 60s. I'm just not seeing the name quick enough. I mean, I'm going to assume it's a baseball player from the looks of the things. A lot of 60s baseball names. So Mason brings the ball back up to the 29-yard line, and that's Bill Butler, I should say, and that's where the Vikings would take over. The Vikings have more yards than Jags, but is that fumble return for touchdown? Mason, picking up a yard. Second down and 9. Mason met in the back. Oh, and Tommy Mason's down. Tommy Mason is down as Roberto Clemente comes in and just levels him. Mason's holding the shoulder. And that means Bobby Reed. Let's try and look a little more in depth about Reed and see how his 63 went. Mason is up and drinking Kool-Aid though, Gatorade. Bobby Reed had 21 carries for 88 yards and 63, targeting back to pass. Throws it out in the flat to Ray Page, another rookie. And it'll be 4th down, and the Vikings will have to punt. So Fred Cox will come on to do the punting. Gets the punt away. Fair catch is called for, and the Jaguars with a 9-point lead. As the Viking offense has been able to do absolutely nothing. 2:16 to go in the third. Hobson hands it off to Mays. Willie Mays got the first down again and then some. 12 rushes for 79 yards for Willie Mays. 162 total for the Jaguars. This semi-pro. They were the best semi-pro team in 62. They beat the Colts once and the Oilers once. So, I mean, you can't, you know. Mays, once again on the give, but of course, in the semi-pro world, the players are rated so low that almost half the team is turned over. So I did all 10 semi-pro teams at this point, and I would have to say almost half of the players are brand new. Rookies. Hobson, back to pass. His pass complete to Mike Rowe. And he gets the first down. Yeah, the Vikings have no answer. If you're watching this game hoping to see a classic 63 Vikings, you're not beat up on a semi-pro team. You got to remember the Vikings weren't that good in 63. We've seen some flashes of brilliance from Jim Marshall and even Fran Tarkenton, but Mays just up the middle, just wearing that Viking defense down now. As you can see, he runs right by the front line. There's Jim Marshall being blocked. Jaguars 17 rushes. Carl Kosolke makes the tackle. Hobson takes the handoff. He's looking back to pass. Throws it over the middle. It is intercepted by Kosolke. And this could be what the Vikings need. Carl Kosolke, the rookie out of Marquette. I do not believe that Hobson even saw him. And we have reached the end of the third quarter, however. The Vikings need to score twice in the fourth quarter. The turnovers are even, but the Jaguars scored a touchdown on theirs. Targeting in a shotgun on 1st and 10 from the 27. He's back to pass. He throws. It's out to Ray Page. 3-yard pickup. And Robinson, the guy who scored the touchdown, he makes the tackle. I don't even know if they count that as a tackle. I think it was Page falling out of the field of play. 2nd down and 7. Targeted back to pass. Throws is complete to Boylan. Rookie receiver, and we have an injury timeout. Jim Boylan out of Washington State. I haven't noticed if Orlando Cepeda makes the tackle, if Tommy Mason's back in the game yet or not. So Tarkenton trying to be the comeback artist, trying to bring the Vikings all the way back. He hands it off to Mason. Mason is not going to get anywhere. He's going to pick up 2 yards. He's got 31 on the day, and that brings him a 4th down. So not sure what the Vikings were attempting there. Well, the game started out as you would think. Yeah, the Jags did. There's at least 4 players on offense playing, but it's week 1. We've gone over this before. You cannot control the rosters as well as you'd like to in week 1. Again, the give to Mason. Mason gets the first down. And Mason's got a big hole. He's gone. Tommy Mason is going to go 64 yards, and he's going to bring the Vikings within 2. On 4th and 1, Mason just ran him over like it was the Diesel in the 82 Super Bowl. Yeah, and then, so the Jaguars signed a bunch of people, including quarterback, a receiver. And then Fran Tarkenton hits a touchdown pass in the first quarter of 51 yards. He comes back to the next drive. He takes off on a long run, fumbles, and a semi-pro player picks the ball up and goes like 80 yards for touchdown. And then the Vikings have done nothing up until that point, and the Jaguars have 3 field goals. Ron Vanderkellen with a hold for Fred Cox, and the score is now 16-14. As there you can see the misspelling of the name, which will be there for his whole career, unless EA Sports gets their head out of their ass and recognizes COX as not being offensive. Al Colleen from the 2. Al Colleen, he's forward. Also, Tommy Mason has gone down for the Vikings, and we have not seen whether or not he came back. Roy Winston made the tackle there on Colleen. It was 1st down and 10. So 6:32 to go. The Vikings now trail by 2. They've got one of the best kickers of the 60s and 70s on their team now. Willie Mays up the middle. He's up to 99 yards. 15 carries, 99 yards. There are, like I said, about 3 or 4 players on the Jaguars who have modern-looking uniforms and names we don't recognize. Mays gives the handoff. And Jim Presto on the tackle. Mays stays right at 99 yards. And it's 3rd down and 4. Excuse me. Hobson back to pass on 3rd down. He throws it complete to Bob Aspromonte. And we have an injury timeout. Not sure who it is. Lee Calland. So the Vikings getting bit by the injury bug. Tom Frankhauser replaces him. Mays, oh, big hole, and Mays got a first down. Mays and Colleen celebrating as Kosolki makes the tackle. Kosolki, who had the interception on the last drive. It looked like the Jaguars could get another field goal. Mays, this time he runs right into Presto, and Jim Marshall finishes him off. Marshall with 2 sacks today so far. Forced 1 fumble, but it was recovered by an offensive lineman. 2nd down and 9. Hobson back to pass. He's got time. He throws, complete, and there's that other modern player. So modern player to modern player. Touchdown. First career passing touchdown. For a guy whose name will be different next week and his ratings will be a lot worse. That drives me nuts. It drives me absolutely nuts. We do the best we can, but here's the extra point, and it's good. 23-14 Jaguars. Bonilla, Bobby Bonilla is the kicker. He has 3 field goals. That's the first offensive score for the Jaguars, and it comes at the hands of 2 modern dressed players. Evidently time traveled back to 63. And looking for the big upset. Bill Butler coming out now. He's up past the 30. So with 4:07 to go, it's hard to hold out hope. I mean, it's a good thing for the Packers and Bears and Lions, all human control teams. The entire division will be shown on TV this year. So, I mean, looking at it from the standpoint of the fact that I'm controlling the Packers, this is actually a good thing. But it sucks that here's what it is. Tarkenton back to pass. Tarkenton, he's going to scramble and he's going to lose 2 as Whitey Ford makes the tackle. That was another one. The name Whitey is offensive. So I had to literally name him White E. Ford. 2nd down and 12 as Tarkenton goes back to pass. He throws it over the middle. Jerry Rycal, who had the touchdown earlier, gets the completion and an injury timeout. It does not appear to be Rycal. Well, there's been a lot of injuries in this game. Rycal, 3 receptions, 71 yards. Actually, it does look like Tommy Mason is in the game, so that's a good sign. He was holding his shoulder pretty fierce earlier when he got hit. Tarkenton back to pass. Throws it over the middle. It is completely incomplete. Oh, incomplete. Paul Flatley, the rookie out of Northwestern, who traded in the purple of the Wildcats. The purple of the Vikings could not hold on to the pass. We are 8-minute games this year, right? All of a sudden I noticed I'm deep in the 3rd quarter and I'm only 43 minutes in the broadcast. Tarkenton back to pass. Throws it to nobody. That was 4th down, and the Jaguars will take over. It's just a frustrating day if you're a Viking fan. Kind of like their NFC title game 2 years ago. Mike Rowe goes in motion. Hobson hands it off to Willie Mays, and Jim Presto brings him down the backfield. But Mays does have 109 yards on the day. He doesn't have what John Henry Johnson had in the Pittsburgh game, but he's up there. Doesn't really give to Mays, and Presto once again hits him this time up the line. He picks up a yard. 110 yards. 3rd down 11. We're going to hit the 2-minute warning. So as the 2-minute warning sounds, the Jaguars lead the Vikings 23-14. You will see all 16 games for the Chargers and Vikings this year, but no human will ever control them. It'll either be like this one showcased on my channel, or when they're playing up against a human, they will be the team computerized. That's when the rosters too will probably get screwed up, because, well, that's what the computer does. Makes our job a little more stressful, a little more harder, but we get through it. 3rd down 11. Hobson hands it off to Mays again. Mays is running slow. You think if the Vikings got a shot to get a turnover, that would have been right there, but it's 4th down, and on will come the punter. The Vikings are going to need that quick hitter that they've had on their 2 touchdowns. The 51-yarder to Reichow and the 64-yarder to Mason. Oh, that's right. Mason was in and scored that touchdown. I forgot. Oh, a long 52-yard field goal attempt by Bobby Bonilla, and it hit the upright. It hit the upright and did not go in. So the next game that'll be coming your way that's ready to go, just waiting on when the John M. channel plans to do it, is the Giants and Seahawks. The Rams and Jets are the other 4 o'clock game that'll be broadcast. Those are the next 2 games. Tarkenton back to pass. He throws it. It's caught by Reichow. He picks up 20 yards and a first down. The Vikings hurrying to the line of scrimmage. They've got 1:37 to go. They're trailing by 9. They need to score in a hurry. Tarkenton takes the snap. He's in the shotgun. He's going to scramble. He's going to get hit. He fumbles, and it is picked up by Grady Alderman. But once again, the holy roller rule, which hasn't even happened yet, you cannot advance a fumble inside 2 minutes if you're the not the offending player that fumbled. So on 2nd down 16, Tarkenton scrambles again, and where is he throwing to? Oh, it's so frustrating sometimes watching the computer do things like that. I almost think that if we do move to 64, Phantom, that Tarkenton, if we can edit that superstar trait, he definitely needs something similar to what we're giving. Was caught by Flatley, and the rookie almost breaks it free. Mahomes, the rookie Mahomes, or not the rookie, the now 3rd-year player Mahomes for the Chiefs. Jaguars run up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from the 13. Tarkenton's got to scramble. He's being chased. And he is sacked. Roberto Clemente breaks in, breaks barriers, makes the sack. And it's 2nd down and 14. We're under 50 seconds to go. The Vikings in desperate need of a score. Tarkenton back to pass. The blitz is on. He throws complete to Smith. Smith does not get out of bounds. The clock is still running. Gordy Smith, the 3rd-year player out of Arizona State. 3rd down and 9. 34 seconds and counting. Tarkenton back to pass. Well, and he is sacked, and the Vikings are going to have to spend a timeout. Ray Allen. No, they're not going to. They're wasting time. They call a timeout, kick the field goal, and go for the onside kick. Tarkenton on 4th and 16. You need 10 points. And the... What is the computer thinking sometimes? You need 10 points. Call a timeout. You have 2. You never call the timeout, and you just let the clock tick away. So again, if you're a Viking fan, frustrating day. Oh, now you're going to call timeout. If you're a Jaguar fan, you're watching the wrong era, but they got to win. So it'll be 2nd down 11, 13 seconds. They'll probably have to kneel it down twice because the Vikings will call timeout now and they didn't bother calling it earlier. Anyway, week 1 is well underway. I know it's taken a while. It's been almost a month. But it is the slowest week. Yeah. Hi, Terrors. Wow, I was right. Rams are ready to be dressed. You got 3 Rams to dress and 3 to-dos to do. Blah. And then I'll do the Jets, editing the Jets tomorrow. And then they'll just need to be rated, both teams. 3rd and 13. And that's the final snap, as this rookie that was signed after the team was edited leads the Jaguars to a victory. So the Vikings, who are a below-average team in 63, are living up to their billing early on. As they fall to the semi-pro Jaguars, who still are the best semi-pro team in Sack of the Future. In the real week 1 in 1963, the Vikings got a win, 24-20 over the 49ers. So. But they had some, they actually beat the 49ers twice in the first 3 weeks. But they had some games like this where they just did not put up much on offense. They had a 7-point outcome against Green Bay, a 10-point against Detroit, a 14 against St. Louis, a 7 against Chicago. But nothing like this against the semi-pro team. So anyway, thanks for joining the showcase game. The 2 showcase games are in the book. None of my actual teams have been edited or rated or played yet. So stay tuned on all of the channels: Phantom Fighter, Terrors89, John M, VinnyXWolf. as Sack to the Future still has 5 Week 1 games to be shown. But look, the Vikings had more rushing yards, more passing yards, even the takeaways. Until next time, I'm Vinny Vincent. I can't turn it off with that profile. And you're not.